Pioneering the modern landscape of R&B, SZA has captured the hearts of millions with her mesmerizing voice and touching lyricism. While her music career has only just begun, she has already made an impact on the industry that will last a lifetime with her critically acclaimed debut album, Control. Behind her success so far also comes an origin story of struggles, a string of tragedies, and a path of spiritualism. This is SZA and her rise from ashes. With a Muslim Black Panther father and Christian mother, SZA was raised an Orthodox Muslim, sheltered and conservative. She wasn't allowed to eat sugar, watch TV, or listen to music containing lyrics growing up, becoming depressed in the process as she didn't have anything to do. Her upbringing would continue to prove troublesome for her, as with the September 11th attacks, she was bullied constantly to the point she had to convince her father into allowing her to not wear her hijab, especially as the neighborhood she grew up in was predominantly white. During high school, she wanted to have a good time and to be liked. However, it simply wasn't in the books for her, as she would continue to be bullied. Instead of attending prom, she skipped to go to the beach with her mom and a few close friends, eventually finding herself partying in a club not far from Lil Wayne and Diddy. This trip would go on to open the door of stardom for her, as she began to realize she really had no friends and may as well chase this exciting lifestyle she's been exposed to. Beginning to make SoundCloud music on the side, she went on to pursue marine biology in college, but the college lifestyle simply wasn't for her, as she transferred 4 times, smoking and failing out, finding herself sleeping on couches and bartending at strip clubs and other part-time jobs. At the time, she had been working at a clothing company that had sponsored a show Kendrick Lamar is working at. While there, SZA had met a member of Top Dog Entertainment who would pass the SoundCloud music to the company's co-president, Terrence Punch Henderson, becoming surprised by the quality and staying in touch with her. SZA drew inspiration for his stage name from Wu-Tang Clan rapper SZA, who had used the supreme alphabet to form his name. The S in SZA's name meaning sovereign, the letter Z for zigzag, and the letter A for Allah in reference to her religion. SZA then went on to self-release her debut EP, See SZA Run, and her second EP, S, 6 months later. With the incredible success of her first 2 EPs, Top Dog Entertainment stepped in to sign her as the label's first female artist, releasing her third EP, Z, a year later. While working on the next project, A, which would eventually become Control, SZA began writing songs for other artists such as Beyoncé, Nicki Minaj, and Rihanna. However, she would also go on to see 3 ex-boyfriends die in quick succession, having to pull herself out of a suicidal depression and working towards self-acceptance, channeling her frustrations and tragedies into the album. The album would also prove further difficult to release as it was planned for the summer of 2016, but got delayed by nearly a year. She expressed her frustrations on Twitter, blaming Punch for the delays, and stating that she would quit as a result, worrying her fans. In reality, she was constantly doubting her album, delaying it as the anxiety got to her. If a song didn't resonate with her and she couldn't figure out why, she would become incredibly frustrated and scrap it altogether, as she had 150 to 200 songs to pick from. She also had a very loose sense of time. Before she knew it, days would turn into weeks and weeks would turn into months. The label became fed up and stole the hard drive with all the music from her. To this day, the album of Control that is put out isn't necessarily the one SZA would have put out herself. One more month and we could have seen something completely different. SZA has ultimately come around to being grateful for the delays and the frustrating process of making the album, especially with the immense success it would reach, being nominated for 5 Grammys, including Best New Artist, Best R&B Song, and Best Urban Contemporary Album. However, quitting the industry still isn't completely out of the books for SZA. While she does have a better understanding of the pressures of the music industry, she also has a greater sense of self-awareness. With a self-described short attention span, she will continue making music for as long as she feels like she can grow, and as long as the fun of making music outweighs the stress. The moment it doesn't, however, she will more than happily walk away in order to continue growing as a person, living with purpose. But her struggles and insecurities wouldn't end there. Despite the openness in her music, SZA still considers herself shy and awkward, constantly doubting her worth whenever stepping on stage, worried by a sense of guilt as she feels as though she needs to do more. It especially wouldn't help as she suffered vocal damage from touring for nearly a year, threatening to end her career right then and there, being forced to step away from touring in order to heal. Again, in quick succession, she would also suffer the loss of her aunt, close friend Mac Miller, and most devastatingly of all, her grandmother, or Granny. Her grandmother had been sick for a long period of time. In her last 5 months, SZA would dedicate herself with as much care as possible to her, traveling frequently between LA and New Jersey, her home state. SZA and her grandmother were also best friends, as she also made an appearance on the album, Control. The celebrity lifestyle wouldn't help either, with fans asking for pictures and with others whining about her openness of depression and anxiety while she hadn't made her grief public just yet. While performing Saturday Night Live with DJ Khaled, guilt weighed on her yet again as she had to put entertainment over her family. Her grandmother would eventually pass away at the age of 90, with SZA getting a tattoo of her name in her honor. With her grandmother's passing, she would fall into a heavy state of depression with no motivation to make music. This experience has changed her approach to making music, waking her up as she not only wants to make music she cares about with people that genuinely care about her, living life with meaning and passion. To pull herself out of the heavy state of depression, she relied on health, wellness, and spiritualism, going to the gym every day and practicing Pilates. She also got into crystals, meditation, and sound bowls, with the plan on integrating those into her next album. Her sound bowls had become of such high importance to her that when one of them broke, she would grieve it as if it were a person and left it at the base of a tree in her backyard. On top of that, despite the struggles her religion had brought her during her childhood, she has come around to embracing it, with a possible plan to wear her hijab again sometime in the future, as the belief in one God and other beliefs of being Muslim stuck with her. SZA's lyricism and openness in previous work has resonated with millions of fans as she has become one of the first few artists to bring topics such as sexuality, insecurity, and abandonment to the spotlight. Just as turmoil and suffering has shaped her debut album, Control, it seems as though it will be shaping her next highly anticipated album as well. Regardless of however long it may take for her album to release, there is no doubt she would yet again shake the music industry with her passion for creating things with meaning. From her origin story of struggles, suffering a string of tragedies, to the path of spiritualism as a guiding force in her life, SZA has made a name for herself, channeling her inner turmoil out for the world to hear, embracing those who have suffered, just as she has.